Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am making a video on small tips and tricks on how to help you possibly do better at the drag strip. I'm going to go over a few things you may have overlooked or possibly need guidance with, which hopefully everybody that watches this video will have something to take home and talk about and improve on, because I think everybody as a whole should be able to do that. And maybe it's something you're struggling with that you're like, man, what do I even need to do? Just small things like that. Hopefully somebody can take something from this video and have it be informative. So let's get into it. Number one, we're going to talk about drag wheels. So obviously these are radials. I run these on that car, as you see on my channel. So a couple things with these. Never mix tires. So say you have bias ply rears and radial fronts. That's just a no-no. You could easily crash and have a awful back end feeling, very loose feeling. I had that happen to me when I ran ET Street Art bias plies on this car instead of actual radials, because I have a radial front. Terrible feeling, especially going 100 plus, 120 plus mile an hour. Just doesn't feel good. So never switch bias plies and radials. Always have one set of bias ply or one set of radials. I don't like mix matching. Number two we're going to talk about is tire pressure. So you see on multiple cars, even my own car, I've ran into this. I ran these at 17 PSI and definitely had them way too low to the fact that I had tire wrinkle. Actually, tire wrinkle means you could hit the car with the same RPM and everything, but with higher PSI, which actually helps rolling resistance instead of wrinkling the tire. It will hook without wrinkling the tire, and that will actually save a few hundredths, maybe even a tenth off your ET. And as I'm going to talk about later, weight plays a huge part, which is why skinnies are such an important factor on a rear-wheel drive car like Camaros, Mustangs, Hellcats, all the above. So the lighter you go with the wheel choice, of course, the lighter the car is going to be, the less rolling resistance, everything like that. Obviously, race stars aren't the lightest. I'd like to go with a set of welds eventually, but as a budget guy like I am going with race stars, which have you seen on my car. But yeah, lightweight wheels also helps. Number two we're going to talk about is brakes. So obviously you need brakes to stop a car. I get that. But some things that people might overlook or not understand is race brakes. These are Aeroforce's Pro Light drag brakes, from what my understanding is. They are very small. Obviously, that's a 20-inch rim. And they stop the car just as well as my stock 1LE wheels did, if not better. So, in saying that, these are 120 pounds lighter overall than the stock brakes on this car specifically. That is easily a tenth to 3/10 better in the quarter mile, because this is rotating weight. Staying down here, I'm going to talk about suspension. So obviously I have a bunch of BMR parts on this. I even have their cradle lockout. And I have Viking shocks and Eibach 1LE spec springs for this car. Obviously, this isn't just a 6th gen Camaro video. This is for everybody, but obviously I have this car, so I'm going to talk about this car and show examples on this car. There's going to be drag springs made for every single car out there. And that will definitely help you go faster in the quarter mile if you're willing to run drag springs. I actually didn't see a difference in handling or anything like that, but I can guarantee you this thing launches a heck of a lot better than the stock springs did. Obviously, this is a 1LE car, so this one did have road course springs in it and not just normal SS springs, even at that point. So the front's a lot softer, but I also have the Magneride still, so I could go soft or stiff. And the rear, I took off the springs and shocks and went with the Viking shocks, which definitely has literally changed my 60 foots to be a tenth and a half, if not 2/10 faster than what I was running previously. Number 3, obviously, is going to be weight reduction. Now, this one comes at a typical level of, remove the passenger seat, remove the rear seats, maybe do a rear seat delete, gut the trunk, do everything like that, even change the driver's seat. Doing the passenger seat, which is 55 pounds, the rear seats, which are 32, and the trunk, which is 10, is almost a whole tenth, because they say just about every 100 pounds equals a tenth. Say you have a ton of excess weight in a car, especially like a truck or something you're trying to make go fast, just cut out some of the excess stuff. It doesn't have to be excessive. Obviously, I still have a full interior and I ran 10s. But just small things that you can think about to go faster, and any ounce counts in the big end. It's obviously not all about power. Of course, I have this car taken apart right now. I'm doing some free mods to make it lighter, obviously. So it's not all about power. It's also about power to weight, suspension, chassis, everything like that. For instance, one of the things I'm going to be doing with this car is I'm not changing much this off-season. I'm only going to make it a tad bit lighter just by doing light things. I'm going to take this front sway bar off and do some testing with that to see if that actually makes a difference, because I have seen people say that they have a better 60-foot by a tenth and a half, which equals probably 3.5 tenths off of the big end, which would be huge. Now the next goal for this car is running a 9. Another thing I'm going to talk about that you're not going to be able to see is a one-piece or aluminum/carbon fiber drive shaft. The less rolling resistance throughout the whole drivetrain, the better off you are. In saying that, aluminum helps because it's lighter than the steel one that's factory. One piece helps so you don't blow it up into 2 pieces, as I've seen, or carbon fiber. And this one actually had billet hubs on each end that the drive shaft bolts to. That would be a huge help over the rubber isolators on it from factory. Obviously, another major part is if you're going to modify it on the right parts, do a ton of research, watch a lot of videos, do the right things to ensure that when you go to the track again, your car will pick up power. On that same note, reputable tuners. Don't go to a local shop just because they're local. How easy it is to email tune a car nowadays is incredible. I was able to get this tuned by Ben from GPI on 2 different occasions. The process took about a week. I'd never been on a dyno. This car runs so much better than anybody I've had local touch the car, to the fact that if there's somebody out there you're like, man, I really want him to tune my car, I don't care what it is. Chevy, Ford, Dodge, whatever. A lot of people go to Lund for Mustangs. I don't really watch Dodge stuff, so I apologize there for my ignorance. But biggest thing is, you want somebody to tune your car? They'll make it happen. Don't go local just because they're local. You'll probably get better support elsewhere. Another thing I'm going to add is avoid unnecessary cosmetic mods. Next thing I'm going to talk about is seat time. So obviously, one of the biggest things, you just bought a new car, you just got into drag racing, you bought a manual, you bought an automatic, whatever. First time at the track is not going to be your PB unless some miracle happens. But just seat time, obviously you have a quick car. No matter what, you guys are probably going to hit 100 mile an hour in the quarter mile just about now if you have any new car. If not, same rules apply. You're going to be over the legal speed limit on roads, on public roads. So easiest thing is, learning the car at the track. And in saying that, you're going to find little quirks and features and little things like that you're like, okay, if I do this, my car goes faster. Like mine, I had to turn off all the traction control things, all that, set the front shocks to track mode, actually, which limits how fast the shocks come up. But of course, every car is different. So in saying that, it's finding what you like, finding what the car likes, finding out everything along the lines of that, and there's different challenges. Obviously, for manuals, there's different challenges. For automatics, there's different challenges. Everybody fights at the track. You can go there and make beautiful runs, or you can go there and struggle and fight all night. Track prep comes into it. If you're looking for good ET numbers, density, altitude, water grains, those are huge as well. And there's little things that you can do throughout the night just to test. Tire pressure, bigger, smaller burnouts, things like that will help you launch RPM, things like that will help you obviously knock down your ET little by little to a number that you like or a number that you can be consistent at. All right, guys, I'm going to end off the video there. If you guys have any other tips and tricks for other drivers out there to go faster that I maybe have missed or overlooked or didn't elaborate on, put them in the comments below. It'd be nice to link with you guys and have a little conversation to talk about what maybe I said or something that I overlooked. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.